Cosplay Matsuri is already on its fifth year. And I'm very happy to be part of it every year. It's the go-to celebration that we always have during December.
Mhm.
It's so fun to attend these events.
Mhm. And actually, trivia. This is my third consecutive year hosting Cosplay Matsuri, and I started in 2018. And then, to be honest, nag-worry ako this year, 2020, kasi everything's getting canceled. The conventions here and there are already postponed and stuff. So, sabi ko, hala, baka this year hindi ako mag-host. Pero okay lang naman, kasi sabi ko, safety first, di ba? Pero it's really nice that a lot of groups are able to come up like with these kinds of live events like Cosplay.ph. So it's really nice to support these groups and organizations because it will keep our community more alive than ever. Because in social media, it's not enough. So it's actually an amazing experience then at least naka-host ako ulit. And then it's also good that Cosplay.ph prioritizes everyone's safety. So that's the reason why we always come up with these kinds of online events for all of us. And of course, in these kinds of events like Cosplay Matsuri, we get to meet a lot of fellow fans of Japanese pop culture whose interests have become very interesting and diverse. And one of those niche that have been growing steadily is the boys love genre.
That's true. So I've had more and more friends confide in me that boys love is actually one of their guilty pleasures. And if you are like them and you would like to know more, even if you want to know more about the boys love subculture and you want to have an extensive access to an extensive collection of BL manga, we'd like to recommend Futakia.
And today, we are very fortunate to have a couple of special guests to talk about the intriguing world that Patekia can bring. Live from Japan, please welcome their producer, Gladys Angala, and editor-in-chief, Emma Hanashiro. Hello.
Hey,
Hey.
good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon. Good afternoon. Hi
Good
there.
afternoon. Okay, good afternoon and welcome to Cosplay Matsuri Online, Miss Gladys and Miss Emma.
Oh, thank you for having us.
I
We
hope
hope
you're
you're
Oh,
having
feeling.
like
a
Gladys, you're
lovely day.
muted.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah. So
You're muted.
Sorry.
it's okay.
Thank you. Hi. Can you hear me?
So yeah. So there has been quite a number in our audience who have become curious of Futekia, and I advise our audience to pay attention because if you answer some questions correctly later on, you'll win a prize. Now, Miss Gladys and Emma, can you tell us what Futekia is all about?
Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen. Okay. So can you guys see this pink um presentation? Yeah. Okay. So Tikia is an like our hosts mentioned earlier, it's an online subscription service for boys love manga. I'm not sure if everyone is familiar with the term boys love, so I'd like to have Emma Sensei here, our resident BL fan, to explain what BL is or boys love is.
Mhm. So I think a lot of you probably know the word yaoi, yaoi. Yeah, that's how you spell it. That's the term used relatively around the world to refer to stories or comics that depict love between two men. Between two men. In Japan, though, the term that's actually used by publishers and by a lot of fans is boys love, or BL. And so since Futakia, our office is based in Japan, we actually follow the word boys love rather than yaoi. So I think a lot of fans will probably use both interchangeably, but on our end, we tend to use the word boys love more.
Yeah. So, Fatakia. Oh well, today we are. Oh, sorry, we forgot to introduce ourselves. Is Emma is our editor in chief, and I am producer at Fatakia. And at Fatakia, it was we launched the service last year in July. So we're a little over a year old, and our link is read.futekiya.com. So it's a streaming service for boys love manga. So our key features, I'd like to have Emma explain more about, yeah, the library.
Yep. So we tend to highlight what we call like the 6 key features of the Futakia library. So we have a very well curated library. Our team works with Dai Nippon Insatsu, which is DMP, which is our partner company, to negotiate with publishers to see which titles they'd be willing to have in English and published internationally. We also work directly with a handful, I think around 13 independent artists as well, to help bring their work to audiences around the world. Our team double checks the titles, and we try to figure out which titles would be the best to have in our library. So like we're very deliberate in our choices sometimes. We also update regularly. So this past month or so, we've actually been having new chapters every day. So this past week, we subscribers basically had 6 new volumes of manga to read over the past week. And we'll be, I think this schedule will be continuing on for the next couple of months. So please look forward to a lot more manga coming your way. We also have long-term subscription plans. So we have a 1-month plan, we have a 3-month plan, and a 6-month plan. The longer plan, so the 3-month plan and the 6-month plan, tend to be a little bit cheaper per month. So if you want to support Patekia for a longer amount of time, and have more time to read the manga from our library, those plans are there for you. But if you just want a little bit of time to read what we have in our library, the 1-month plan could also work for you. We're also accessible on any device. So as long as the device has internet access, you could access the Fatakia library. So you could use it on your smartphone, a computer. We've had people try to use their Switch before. So as long as you have internet access, it's accessible. We also have a blog, which is managed by Gladys-san here, and she works with a team of writers to bring like an encyclopedia. So if you have what we call the Futekiya, so if you have any like questions about words that pop up in Boys Love a lot, like salaryman, or just what is the difference between Boys Love and yaoi and shonenai, like we have articles on that could help you, point you to sources and other information that could be useful. And then we're also operated by manga fans. So Gladys loves manga, I love manga, I love Boys Love manga, and our company president also loves manga. Everyone on our team, because we love manga, we work really hard for Futakia and Manga Planner as well. And yeah, that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Perhaps you can give me the link to that article. I want to read on that difference between yaoi and shonenai.
Oh, our you can find our blog at futekiya.com. So just remove the read from the link. So Futakia, if you go to futekiya.com, then you can read our blog, and it has interviews there, and yeah, the the Wikipedia thing, the Foodpedia articles as well. Yeah.
And you mentioned earlier you guys are working with big publishers. You also work with the independents? So like even doujinshi, we can find it on Patekia?
Yeah, so in terms of, these would be original doujinshi, so like original stories, not based off of like a lot of an image people tend to have of doujinshi is like it's based off of a series, like it's based off of like My Hero Academia doujinshi. You know, we have like it's just original artists, but there's a lot, like in Japan there's a lot of BL artists who like to publish things independently. Like it could be a story not based off another like big anime series or manga, but they just want to publish it themselves. And so we have like a lot of manga from those artists as well.
So it is indie in the sense that it's an individual story and they want to bring it out to the world. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Right now I'm seeing some manga covers on your presentation. which titles from Futakia have been your best sellers? Like what's hot? What's trending?
So Gladys, do you want to answer? Or should I answer? We were looking at the data earlier.
Like Japanese rankings, if you see these 5 titles here, 5 covers here, the second and the third one are ranked first in last year's rankings. So here, there, and us will top the charts by about like voting by 4,000 people, I think. And
Yeah,
the orange cover, we just released it recently. It's called One Room Angel by Harada Sensei. I'm pretty sure many yaoi fans know Harada Sensei. This one also won first place in the BL Awards. So these two are like very good titles. But in terms of like Filipinos taste, we checked our like analytics. Yeah. And Emma, what was it?
okay. So I divided it up into, we have chapters that are available for free, and then chapters that you have to be part of the subscription to access. So the top manga in terms of free reading, the top 3 were I Didn't Mean to Fall in Love, Seitokai, this is going to be a long title, when a student council member rehabilitating a bad boy somehow turns into a romantic comedy. And then the third one is First Love Encounter. So those are the top 3 for free. What's interesting is that when you get into the paid, it shifts a little bit. So the top one for paid is a Simplified Pervert Romance. The second one is You're My Sex Star. And the third one is I Didn't Mean to Fall in Love. So the rankings tend to shift a little bit depending on how you look at the data, but yeah, it's pretty interesting.
I see.
But,
That's an
like-
interesting data.
But Miss Emma, Miss Gladys, do you have your own top 5?
Oh,
Maybe you could recommend to our audience
Yeah.
what they could try to
Like
out in Futakia.
what's the gateway title that can get me
Yeah.
oriented and up to speed?
I'd give this to Emma because she's the one who's like seen through all those 200 titles in our library. So
oh yeah, like my full-time job is reading BL manga. If you're new to BL manga, I really like this would be an interesting choice, I think, in terms of just thinking about Harada Sensei's art in general, but I would recommend One Room Angel, perhaps. Like, this title just came out on the Futakia library. It's ranked very highly in Japan. It's a bestseller in Japan. It's also just a really good manga, even outside of BL. Like, even if you don't think of it as a BL manga, it's an amazing, amazing story. It's actually based off of a one-shot she did originally for a different collection, but the way that she brought in the story and added like character depth to, I don't know, it's a really good manga. So One Room Angel is definitely a good BL manga for people who might not be used to BL manga. It has no R18 scenes in it actually, which is surprising if you think about the mangaka, but I guess other BL fans would know that. But like One Room Angel, good for everyone, I think.
I see. Okay. Actually, there are questions in our lobby chat. Let's try to check out. There's this one question from Carlo. What are the considerations when you curate manga to be translated in English?
Ooh. I mean, sometimes it comes down to, is the publisher open to having it published in English?
I see.
yeah.
So it's really up to them.
Yeah, so right now we have 200 titles, and in the coming weeks we'll have 50 plus more. We're releasing at least 5 per week, and actually on Christmas Eve, we are on the 24th, we are releasing our first simulpub title, which is called Pink Heart Jam. So this one is also the simultaneous publishing is also decided by the publisher. So that's one factor that, like, if the publisher wishes to publish like simultaneously or in English, then yeah, we're definitely open to.
Yeah, There's a lot of different considerations that go into what we choose for the library. We tend to try to, in terms of like if we go into like a philosophy of what we do for the Futakia library, like there's a lot of BL manga being published right now. There's like so many publishers entering the market now. There's a lot of artists like doing it themselves as well. For Futakia, we really want to like increase accessibility of titles that people really want to read, as well as try to fill in niches or like BL manga that usually wouldn't be picked up by other publishers. So that's also something we keep in mind, as well as like what manga would not necessarily be picked up by another publisher, but something that's very worthwhile reading, for like anyone to read. So yeah, that's also like a little bit of a thought process behind certain title picks.
We actually have an interesting question when it comes to the catalog of Futekiya. We have a question here. Can I submit a story there? So I guess the question here is that if I have an independent production, my own boys love manga, is there a way for Fatakia to like host it for me?
This is actually a hard question, because right now actually we're very focused on working with publishers in Japan as well as like Japanese artists. I think we do have one independent artist who produced their own manga in English, but that's actually a rarity. So we're not necessarily open for submissions, but we're not sure where we'll go in the future either. So right now we're very focused on just the Japanese market, just because there's such a big demand for manga that's not yet accessible from Japan. If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. I don't know.
And yeah, so lastly, so we have 200 titles and 50 more coming in the weeks, and we also launched a new feature just last week. It's a gift code feature, so anyone who wants to gift their friend a BL subscription for 6 months, yeah, they can buy the gift code from our library, read.futakia.com, and then like send it to their friend, or I don't know if your family is like reading this stuff, so, or you can buy one for yourself too. Yeah, so that's one feature. Yeah.
If you have a good relationship with your parents, it'd be an interesting gift. Maybe not. Actually, One Room Angel would be something I would recommend. One Room Angel to my own mother. Like, that's how.
You know what? Here at least in our local community, in our local scene, there is a very vocal and very prominent group of people who are into this sort of thing. So this 6-month gift access is actually a very good present for Christmas, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we're glad we made it before Christmas. Like seriously, we thought we couldn't make it.
Developers, thank you, coming for something good.
It's a good idea. Very great, very great. I'm already considering about it because I'm actually I'm more in a subtle kind of fan, so you might bring me into it. And I hope our audience as well is now considering hearing there's a gift code feature. I'll consider. You have a very effective presentation.
Oh,
Nice.
We have an interesting question from the chat. So I know this might sound off stupid question in terms of genre, but how does Patekia handle censorship?
I think I'd want to ask, like, do you mean censorship of like genitalia, or like censorship like in terms of story content?
I think more on the visual side. Visual side.
Pretty big.
So we're based, like, our office is in Japan, and so we do have to follow Japanese censorship laws with regard to this. We can't. I think other publishers, like places like Faku, are able to publish things without censorship because they're based in America. But because our office is in Japan and we don't want to get arrested, we have to follow the style of sort of artfully hiding certain body parts.
Are we talking black bars, or are we talking pixelation?
Like there's
actually,
the light.
Yeah.
The light. The holy
The-
light.
Yeah.
The holy light. Okay.
The holy light.
There's
There's
this light.
there's a like each publisher actually has a different way of censoring, which is really interesting. There's a person actually that goes to Comiket every year who compiles a collection of how each publisher handles censorship. I have the book somewhere. I shouldn't show it on screen, but yeah, it's each publisher handles it differently. And it's sort of fascinating to see how far certain publishers try to get around, like the law. So sometimes you get like a really thin line, and they're like, "Yep, that's okay," and things like that. Actually, in terms of digital publishing, censorship tends to be harsher on digital than print as well. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. We have to follow Japanese law, unfortunately. I'm sorry, guys.
I think our audience are able to understand your answer to the question. All right.
It's par
so-
for the course.
Mhm.
Now I believe it's time for a treat for our attendees. So if you've been keen on our discussion, you can win for yourself a wonderful prize.
And because we'll be having a quiz to be given by our guests here. And if you could get the answer, you could get to win a free 1 month access to either Futakia or Manga Planet. There will be 3 questions to be answered. So now let's have our guests deliver the quiz.
Wait, hold on. Before we ask the questions, is there anything else that you would like to share to our audience
Yeah.
from your presentation? Because I'm sure we need to pick up all the details before we play the game, right?
Yeah, we've covered most of the important details. Yeah.
Mhm.
So we can go with the quiz.
So
if
we can
we-
proceed. We can proceed.
All right. So I hope our audience is ready to answer your questions.
All right. So
Okay. So we'll have 3 questions, like Laura said, and just type the correct answer in the chat box, and the first one to answer gets the prize. So for the first question, how many titles does the Fatakia library currently have? Like currently have?
do we have a figure from the chat? So let me type it on the chat. Question 1. How many titles does the Patekia library have? So I hope
I think they got overwhelmed. So let's see. Or maybe there's a delay. Oh, there was some answers.
so Carlo says 250 and counting. Is Carlo correct?
It was
Sort of close.
Sort of close. Is it close?
Okay.
It's like in the same hundreds.
It was on the
Accurate
presentation
answer.
earlier.
All right. So maybe we can do a countdown for I'll do a countdown on the chat. 10. Kankoi says 100. Is
100.
it close? 100 titles.
Okay. There's another answer.
Ryan says
Getting closer,
220.
getting closer.
Who's
We-
closer?
Switch the numbers. Right, just
So
switch.
close, so close.
Okay.
Ah, farther.
We have Ryan's answer
Currently.
220 and Geneva 250. Dead says 200 titles and counting, 50 incoming.
I guess we'll choose the closest one.
I guess the closest, huh?
Oh,
Oh, oh,
oh,
Oh.
we got
Got
it.
You got it. Okay.
Yes. So the correct answer
Yay!
is we have
202.
202.
Geneva, congratulations.
So
Right.
so the staff will. Mhm.
So Geneva's got it correct at 202. So Geneva, our staff will be coordinating with you for this one. So I think you have your next question.
Yep. So the next question is, what is the URL or the link of the Patekia library? It's there. The answer is there. You just have to type it down.
Oh yeah, I think I can open a tab and Google it. So the question is, what is the URL of the Futakia library?
It's the answer is there.
You guys got me wrong.
So
Yeah.
Young Blue Spring says read.fatakia.com. Is that
Which is the
correct?
correct
It is.
answer.
It is.
It's
So-
a good
Answer. Thank you.
Very good.
all right. Young
yeah.
Blue Spring got it correct.
Congratulations, Young Blue Spring.
Okay, and the final question
Mhm.
What is the
what
name?
is the name of our subscription service for officially licensed voice of manga?
Guys, you gotta answer this. Audience.
You can forget everything we said. Just remember this name.
No, they will remember this. This is a very interesting service.
My God, this question is so difficult. I'm using all my brain power. You know what? This is the Christmas spirit, isn't it? We're literally giving things away.
Yes. This is basically giveaway. Like it's in
Yeah,
my
so-
name.
Yeah,
It's the name of the session. Anybody?
So anybody from chat who is, willing to exercise their fingers?
Even if you're not, you can access like not BL but also Manga Planet, which I will talk about tomorrow.
this is a good time to subscribe though. There's a lot coming in, both on Futakia and Manga Planet. Especially if you like Hyuri manga as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
we
would
have
consider
a lot of Yuri manga. Hmm.
I would consider it because I used to read manga before going to sleep. So this is like the perfect this is the
Ooh.
perfect this is the perfect arrangement. I can open it in my phone.
Yeah.
No, okay, so the chat, I think the chat's having difficulty
chat
with
is-
this question.
It starts with letter F. And ends with letter A.
I wish we had company T-shirts that had this name on it to represent.
Oh, I think the chat is. There's a guy that went fua fua.
Kenkoi.
What is fua fua? It's Fujoshi. Fail Fox says Fujoshi. Well, actually, it does rhyme with F. It does start with F. So Carlo says Fatakia. So yes, the sir. So I think we can reveal our answer now.
Okay.
So
We did really
correct
well.
The
answer
correct
is
answer is Fatakia.
Futakia. Guys, don't forget about
Wow, so totally.
So Carlo got it correct.
Thank you.
Thank
Alright,
you.
so
Yeah,
And
congratulations
to the
to all our
winners.
winners. So our staff will be in touch for the contact details on how you can get your prize. Again, We would just like to thank our producer, Gladys Angala, and editor-in-chief, Emma Hanashiro. Let's give them a warm round of applause. Thank you so much, Miss Gladys. Thank you so much, Miss Emma. Arigatou gozaimashita.
Thank you.
Arigato.
Thank you for watching.
Make sure to know more about them and subscribe to their service through the following links. Yeah, they make sure to follow their social media to know more about them.
So thank you all again for having fun with us here at Cosplay Matsuri. And we're still very much into the spirit of giving. It is December after all.